All four of you black out. And when you open your eyes, you're inside Silverhand's fortress. And you notice you feel fine. And as you look down at your hands or feet or face or whatever you would look at first in concern, you appear perfectly fine.
I will stand up and in exultation and say, I did it. It hurt, but I did it.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Oh, okay, and now I know why the witch hunters burn you all.
I'm starting to know what it feels like.
I look at all the silver golem men things. Do you think they're gonna stab us for being in here?
I look around. Is there any sign of Otto?
No. The only thing you notice that catches your attention is there's a faint glow coming from upstairs.
Is that spooky suspect star beneath us actually there?
Yes. Though it's a little probably more Warhammer related, but yes. This is
go
a
up-
More Warhammer related 8-pointed star. All the nope. Oh wait, no, 6.
It's not a Chaos Star. I will say that. But for you, Roland, this place reeks of eldritch nonsense. Like, there is so much not possible shit happening in your eyesight, it's genuinely disturbing.
I head upstairs.
All right.
Towards Glow.
Verve, you walk upstairs and you basically find yourself in a there's only a single door as you walk up the stairs to the second level. And when you push on the door, it opens to what looks like a study. It's a very, compared to how grandiose and lavish the bottom floor is, it seems pretty underwhelming. Like there's a chair for someone to sit, and other than that, there's just braziers, and there's another set of stairs that lead further up. Where the glow
I'm
is
following
coming
the
from.
only person who can get us in and out of this building.
Maybe.
I just need a minute.
I continue towards the Glow.
All right.
Farv, this is a brilliant idea.
Hey, we're here. We might as well go.
As you approach the top floor, you enter a bedroom. So you're over here. Halfling, if you're halfway up the stairs, you're here.
Okay.
So, Verve, you enter a bedroom. And the first thing that really catches your eye is not only are there just a bunch of books, very lavish rugs from who knows what countries, and the books are all very old and musty and have, no doubt, bunches of arcane lore in them, but there is a small desk where the gold light is originating from, and it looks like someone basically scribed a large circular rune, a transmutative one, that is just rotating on itself, and just seems like a hole in the desk.
It's rotating. Okay. Can I study said rune? Sigil?
You can try.
Glyph?
Roll a speak language check at very hard.
No.
No, it's too difficult to decipher,
Far
especially
beyond me.
since it's constantly folding in on itself. But whatever it is, it's very complicated magic.
Okay. I will look
This is
around.
a little dingy for a bedroom, isn't it? I thought he'd have a nicer bed.
He's probably too busy to really care. I will look around the desk.
Wrist, roll me a perception check. based on scent.
Perception. One of my many weaknesses.
Oh, nice.
Or not.
All right, Wrist. You feel like you smell something, like you're picking up a delightful odor. And as you look around the room, when you look on a stool stashed against the wall behind the desk with the strange large glowing rune in the center of it, you see a very neatly stacked pile of plates that smell very distinctly like last night's dinner.
Huh, he's got multiple plates in here. I will go over and investigate the plates.
Okay, you see that all of them definitely belong to the camp. There's not a ton of them, but there is like a small stack.
See, Verve, mystery solved. I've got the plates.
So with my staff, I'm so tempted just to touch this rune.
We'll check in with you in a second. Vertstat and Roland, what are y'all doing?
I'm looking around this desk thing, seeing what's on it.
There is a ton of maps. A ton of maps. Some of them you recognize of Jettenberg or we'll see what happens, Wrist, but potentially. Roland, you see a ton of maps, some of which you recognize as Jettenberg. Oh, you could read. And you see a lot of scripts, and you see a lot of mentions of different bizarre things belonging to Tal, Raya. You see a lot of mentions of something called Rogenbach that are underlined multiple times or circled, and it all looks very frantic. A lot of the maps have been marked up with X's or circles. You see a map of what is labeled the Hager Cribs, and there are tons of X's on it. But the one that really catches your attention is you see a letter that's been very carefully pinned down facing the entrance that in very big letters on the top of it are written Verve, Vertstat, and Wrist. And then there is a lot of script following afterwards.
Vertstat, come here a moment.
Alright, I go there.
Vertstat, you see all the same shit I just described.
What do you know about this Rogenbach figure? He seems to be afraid of it and the Hager Cribs, maybe. It seems frantic, but I can't tell much more than that.
Oh, Rogenbach. He's an old local god that we've been investigating a little bit. What to say about him?
That name ring any bells?
For you,
Yeah?
roll a very hard local lore check.
Very hard is minus 20?
Minus 30. It's the highest difficulty. Nope, not ringing any bells. Never heard of him.
Alright, what do you have to say about him?
Well, he's one of the more predominant gods in this area, or at least he was a long, long time ago. He was a forgotten god, somehow. Whatever that means, exactly, we haven't quite discovered.
Maybe just really old. Fell out of fashion.
That'd be the simplest explanation, but we require more digging. It seems Otto had done some digging of himself.
As a mental refresher, due to the extreme break we took, I will remind those of you who know Otto that he was very, very strict about not allowing anyone to bring up Rogenbach in his presence. Like it was borderline dangerous to bring it up around him.
Oh, yeah. So I would say, it is kind of weird that he has all this information on Rogenbach. He was never much of a fan of us talking about him or bringing him up.
Not much of a fan. I'd say he's damn near obsessed.
All right, let's jump back to the magic room. Verve, what are you doing?
I head upstairs after that.
Okay. Vertstat, you do see a very large scroll that is somewhat rolled up, but the part that's pinned back is addressed to you and your companions.
Okay, I unroll that shit.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a sec. Verve.
All right.
Verve taps the rune with the end of her staff to see if anything happens and backs away.
Okay, Wrist, do you want to try and enact a plan, or are you just gonna hope for the best?
It's a big freaky glowy thing, right?
It's pretty freaky and it's pretty big. It is, so think of it this way. It's literally like, imagine if there was a desk, and in the center of it, I drew a series of circles, and like, so the first circle is, the inner circle is empty, but still like 3 feet wide, or 3 feet diameter. And then the next rim is fairly thin, but has a bunch of eldritch symbols carved around it. And then there's another rim, and another rim, and another rim, most of which having various symbols or diagrams drawn across them. And all of those individual rings are rotating in a different direction and at different speeds. And every once in a while, there's like a faint nimbus of light that's even rotating over it vertically in like a 3D rotation space.
See, now I can see it better. I will not touch it.
Okay.
I will look to Verve. What do you think would happen if I threw something in the center? Would it disappear, like through the door?
I think of it almost like a clock. It might jam it up.
How upset do you think he'd be?
You know him just as well as I. Do you think he would be very happy?
Well, I say, taking a seat on the edge of his bed, how much more unhappy do you think he's going to be once he realizes we've been in his bedroom? I mean, at this point, it could get worse.
I look at you and say,
Roland walks
yes.
in at this point.
Yes, it could
Hey,
be
Roland,
worse.
freaky things over there. The elf says not to touch them.
I'll take your word for it. What are you doing on his bed?
Well, I've been through a lot. I wanted to have a seat.
I'm gonna go through his personal books.
Okay. Virtually all of them are in a tongue you do not understand.
Oh, of course.
Back to
Look,
Vertstat.
Otto. Look, I am touching your books. Now would be a good time to come here before I mess something up.
Are you literally just gonna like slap his books?
Verve, he's not a god. Calling his name won't draw his attention.
Well, in this tower, he is a god.
That's a little bit elevated. Even Esmeralda wouldn't say, "Oh, I've got a fancy tower. You must worship me now."
Let's pop back to Vertstat. Actually, Verve, tell me exactly what you're doing.
I'm pulling books off the shelf,
Cool. Vertstat.
holding them in my hand, ready to drop them and such forth.
Vertstat. You
Ransack this place.
you roll down the letter, and in it, impeccably scrawled in silver script, is a note from Otto Silverhand. And he says, "Greetings to Verve, Vertstat, and Wrist. I assume that despite my best efforts, you will return before I do from my recent endeavors. It has come to my attention that there is something or someone active here in the Hager Cribs that is actively trying to supplant my own designs and my business. And it's starting to get concerning and dangerous, both for myself and those I employ. Therefore, I have gone to perform some research to try and discover more about the nature of this threat, and I may be gone for some time. If you need anything, only magic can be used to access the tower by those who I've formed a contract with. Therefore, you, Verdstat, Verve, and Wrist. In the event that you are within my tower, do not touch anything unless you absolutely need it, and stay out of any of the floors above the base level.
Nice.
Okay.
And he notes at the bottom, I will do what I can to discover the source of all of the death magic that is permeating the area. I would encourage you to do the same.
Okay. I will roll it back up and store it in my robes.
All right. The instant you pick it up, you hear the very concerning sound of metal grinding against metal.
I turn around.
All right. You see... Oops. 1 second. You see all of the silver golems immediately start advancing up the stairs. In a very loud, but they all move at the same time, but the steps they take are so perfectly designed as they manage to walk in single file despite walking at the same pace. And the tower practically shakes with every footstep they take in unison.
Now, you said all of them?
The one in front of you, the smaller one, does not seem to move.
Okay.
Back upstairs.
While they're being extricated
We can
from
hear
this place.
this, right?
Nope.
Yeah. The rumbling?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so while they're doing that, I will run to the bookshelf real quick and try and find like a scarlet binded book, maybe.
Okay. We will come back to you in a minute while you're looking around. All right, what's going on upstairs?
We're gonna get arrested.
I don't know.
Or
We haven't heard
brutally
anything,
bludgeoned
so
to death.
Yeah, you've not heard
If
anything
we-
yet. There's no sign anything is wrong.
Oh no, I'm saying that out of game. Getting
Okay.
either arrested or bludgeoned to death.
I will wait for one of you to do
so-
something.
Oh, master of the words, what's the book say? What is it
I
about,
can't-
anyways?
I can't read it.
Ha! I gloat.
Yeah, I usually find it hard to read too when I throw them on the ground.
I haven't done that yet. I am about to.
How about don't do that?
I mean, what if it's a magic book?
They're all
Would the
magic
book
books.
get upset with you and, like, lash back?
I mean, probably. Best to put it back.
In any case, there's a bunch of plates here, and I will pick up the plates. That obviously need to be returned to the kitchen.
All right. At this point, the three of you feel a very rhythmic but not substantial rumble every couple of seconds, and the tower shakes just a tad.
Put the book back.
I put the plates back.
I
Those
will,
are kitchen property.
I will hold the book and I will I'm listening for like this rumble to try and discern what it is because I can't see, of course.
Are there windows in this room?
There are, but they only look outside.
I look outside.
Okay?
Is there a giant spider
Oh.
climbing the wall?
No, but roll a perception check. At plus 20, actually. Ooh, wrist. Interesting wrist. Wrist, as you look outside, you can't help it because you just kind of are looking. and your eyes are drawn to the Hager cribs, which you have a perfect view of, especially the upper peaks in the distance. And as you look at them, your eyesight gets drawn up, and you see that there's this, over some of the peaks, there's this huge, ugly black thunderstorm just parked on it. And you kind of see that smudge smear effect that rain looks like at a distance. But the thing that immediately grabs your attention about this storm is not only is it massive and eating up that part of the horizon, but while you're watching it and you see lightning occasionally pass through it, you 100% see the distinct symbol of a giant skull screaming in the cloud.
Oh, fuck!
What? Let me see. I want to look over him.
Is that skull antlered?
It is not. It is a human skull.
Question. Local Hagerdorf? Is this a common occurrence in this town?
No. You don't even have to roll. You've never seen shit like that.
Plus 100. No.
Alright, at this point, all three of you can hear very rhythmic, metal, deep clanging. And you notice that it sounds more like footsteps, and it's coming from the stairs. And it sounds close.
Verv, have you not put the book back yet?
It's still in hand.
Why?
I wanted to see if they can talk.
More to the point, giant screaming skull in a storm.
Can I see it
Has
from
that
here?
always been there?
If you look over Risk's head, you can see it.
I will tentatively and slowly slide the book back, as Wrist has given me something far more interesting to look at.
Alright. As you put the book back, there is the audible sound of stone cracking as an ogre-sized silver colossus, along with his buds, force their way in through the door.
Well, hello.
I gesture wildly at the storm.
All three of the, we'll call them colossi, scan the room for a moment, and then all three of them focus on you, and each one of them starts to advance towards each of you.
Oh, I didn't do anything this time.
I back up.
Okay, you run out of.
I'm going downstairs.
You run out of backup room very quickly.
I will maneuver myself onto the bed.
Okay, as you do that, more colossi keep filing in the door, blocking your route.
Son of a...
How high up is this tower?
When you look out the window, you're pretty sure you only went up about 2 stories. When you look out the window, it looks like a good 8 stories. There are some shenanigans afoot.
All right. Well, I think we've gotten the point, gentlemen. And I will look to the giant silver people, and we'll be headed right downstairs where you want us to be and out the tower, right, Verv?
I will look at you and say, I suppose.
Unresponsive to your talking, one of the golems just reaches out and immediately just grabs Roland by the shoulders and picks him up. Another one reaches for wrist and will pick you up by the back of your shirt.
Wait, what are you doing?
And then 2 of them will approach Verve, and one of them will reach for you, but you're a little bit of an awkward distance from them because you're on the bed.
Yes. Come at me. Destroy Otto's bed.
The one that has you, Roland, it just picks you up and starts casually carrying you out the room by your shoulders.
I just kind of go limp, and I'm just like, well, I'm here now.
Wrist, the one that picks you up, actually pauses for a moment and picks up the plates and hands them to you to hold, and then carries you out of the room.
It's what I was here for.
Verve,
Honestly, you'd think Otto would have better housekeeping than this, leaving plates in the room where he sleeps.
Verve, eventually the Colossi manage to corral you to the point that they can reach you unless you want to try and fight them.
Oh, I know I'll lose with a fight.
They do manage to get a stern hold on you, and you can't help but wince because you feel like they're grabbing you a lot tougher than necessary. Because you didn't hear any signs of complaint from your allies, but you definitely feel uncomfortable. And the two of them, basically each one of them grabs one of your arms, rougher than they probably need to, and they drag you back downstairs.
I know this is you controlling them, Otto.
Po!
Eventually, they get you all down to the ground floor. Roland and Wrist, they set you down before going back to their allotted places. Verve, they give you a very light and not dangerous, but definitely painful toss down the last 3 or 4 steps. Vertstat, roll me a perception check with a plus 20.
All right. I'll reroll that.
Okay.
Nope.
You do not find any books that pique your interest.
All right. I'm more focused on the golems coming down the stairs.
Okay. They don't seem to be in any hurry to move you out of the way. If anything, they actually seem to move into place so that you're not crushed by them. But they quickly go back to being inert. And Vertstat, you look at 3 slightly flustered companions, one of which got hurled down the stairs with a notable thump.
I landed on my feet.
So I'll take the letter out of my robes.
Roll an agility check, Verve. Roll 100. Do it. Alright, fine, you make it.
Damn it.
Alright, your companions have returned. And Verve looks a little irritated. But other than that, they seem okay. Wrist is holding dirty plates.
All right. I will say to them, it seems Otto was expecting us, and I will convey what the letter said to them.
Wait, how could I open the door? I don't got magic.
It seems he somehow expected us to come in. Even those of us with magic, I wouldn't expect me to get in. If it wasn't for Verve and,
I will
being
look proud of
bullheaded.
myself.
I mean, didn't it say that only the people he's formed a contract with can open the door, which is us 3? I thought he did that with the whole camp.
Well, we don't know who, he has contracts with. He could have a plethora of them.
I gesture at the thing. You know, the thing you just read? About us opening the door.
Yes.
Why not anyone else? Like the bloody hounds?
That's a good point, I suppose.
I mean, does that mean
Well-
he doesn't have a bit of a Rolf's soul lying around here?
No, I suppose he didn't expect Rolf to get in. That is a good point.
Well, if I got in, there must have been some design flaw.
You got in by attaching yourself to me. So, yes, design flaw.
Guess he didn't see that.
I go to the maps, Sotek.
Okay.
I want to correlate that storm that we saw to somewhere on the map.
How good are you at internal geography?
Navigation check?
Yes.
I point north.
That would not help in this instance, but thank you.
Noted.
Fine. Alright, Verve, as you glance over the maps and think carefully, reading and searching, you feel a chill run down your spine as you realize the peak the peaks that storm scene centralized over were the peaks where you found that cave.
Okay.
The Cave of Rogenbach, for anyone
Yeah.
lost.
I will actually smile and say, this. Remember, Verstadt, what I told you I had come here for?
Yes.
Long time ago? When we first
Oh.
met on the river.
Oh, yes. It's been a while, though. What about it?
A storm unlike any other. And I know exactly where to go.
Do you now?
You want to go to the Skull Storm?
Yes.
Might you want to know about a little bit about it first?
Between burning doors and purple whatever you're seeing, doesn't seem that much out of the ordinary anymore.
Well, who is going to know about it but Otto, and he is not here?
That's probably why he isn't here.
He is there. Most likely.
Or very far away?
I
Who else?
agree with Verv. He's probably there.
Who else are we going to ask around here that has as much magical knowledge as Otto? I know where the
The
storm
priestess.
is. And it's right where we found that cave. You know, the cave with the bear. And the shrine with skulls. And the depictions. And all
That's-
the other horrible things.
Yep.
The hell
I
kind of
remember
jobs
that cave.
you guys get sent on anyway?
It was 5 crowns.
I sort of raised some eyebrows at that.
Plus a great meal beforehand.
5 crowns each?
Yeah, it was 5 crowns each for the 4 of us. There was a dwarf with us before. I wonder where he's run off to.
Maybe he was with them building that thing?
Oh no, they were in a... I don't know if you call it a fight, but they didn't seem to get along very well.
They don't seem to get along with anyone that isn't their own. And even sometimes their own.
Is there
wouldn't
any...
Anders maybe have something in his records about the shrines and things? If it's at the shrine.
There are
Most
a
likely.
ton of papers if you want to try and sort through more of them.
Yes, I want to.
It will take time, though. Like, you'll have to actually do research.
I will do time.
Okay, how long do you want to tell your companions to commit? And do you want any of them to help?
Well, I'll look at Verstadt and say, you can come and go just like me. These two can't.
Oh, you're saying I can't leave? Fine.
Well, I don't know if you can leave, can you?
I've got dishes to take. I will walk to the door with the dishes.
All right, Wrist. As you approach the door, you feel something in your bag get noticeably heavier.
I watch him intently.
But if you don't pause, you can just walk to the door.
I walk to the door.
All right, it opens and allows you to leave.
All right. After I leave, I find the thing that got heavier in my bag.
Okay.
I will give Verv a snooty look as I walk out.
The door shuts behind you.
Oof.
As the door shuts and you rumble through your bag, you find the small badge that
That's all we had to do? I didn't have to channel a ton of magic?
Shut up, I'm trying to think. You find your your badge of the Bloody Hounds, and it has turned completely to silver.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but I will look out and realize that I have just walked out of the tower with dirty dishes after the whole door was glowing, and there's probably a crowd. And I will gesture with the dishes. Had to pick these up real fast. If you don't mind, they're kind of mucky.
There is a small congregation. Rolf and oh gosh.
Raymond?
Yes, Riemann among them. And the two of them, you get a lot of raised eyebrows, but nobody gainsays you, and most people start whispering and mumbling to each other before kind of slowly heading back to their work. Though Riemann does ask you if you found Otto inside.
Oh, no, was a note left for us about him being off doing researching foul things to see what's causing them, because they're getting in the way of his plans.
Riemann sighs at this and nods and says, I shall go speak to the dwarves then about this.
Alright, we'll look at
very
you
good,
first.
sorry, Riemann. Do you like the baby-eating horse?
He grins wide when you mention the horse and says, she is most fiery. She bit my men.
I bet she did. The elf wouldn't believe me.
He nods and says, she picked a wild beast. To this I am appreciative. It'll be strong in war. Once it trusts
Supposedly
me, of
it's
course.
trained too.
He chuckles and says, so are many things that can still throw you off and trample you underneath. It will take time to form a bond.
Oh, well, I can see you're enjoying it already. I'm sure she'll be happy to know she's pleased you.
You do see him smirk, and he actually reaches down and lifts up a part of his raiments, and you see like a big scab bruise across his almost absurdly chiseled physique that looks like he must have been skid across the ground at a pretty rapid speed. But he seems to bask in it as opposed to wince at it.
A fellow war wound. Don't let her know that I told you. But you know that bandage she's got on her face?
Riemann audibly laughs at this, and Rolf looks bemused, but the two of them promise not to say anything and head off to go do what they need to take care of.
Alright, I will return the purloined plates.
Okay, Roland, you gonna try and leave?
Yep.
Alright, Roland, as you approach the doors, they do not budge.
Alright, could one of you get me out of here?
Verstadt, would you go speak with Anders? I'm going to do as much research as I can before we go. Or at least
Hold
I
your
go.
badge to the bloody door then.
Verstadt will give a deep sigh and then go out with Roland.
Alright, Vertstat, as you hold on a second. Have to check something. Okay.
The letter telling witch hunters not to turn silver.
As you leave, you can actually feel it. Being a wizard, you feel a small pulse of magic from the silver badge that Otto gave you, and the doors open for you.
Okay, I said, there
Roland,
you go.
as you walk out the door with Vertstat, roll a endurance -10 check.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you...
I'm gonna spend a fortune to bring that down one.
Okay, so you pass. All right, so suddenly you feel your entire body tense as if it's been seized for a small moment, and you feel a burning sensation on the back of your hand. And as you gasp and look down on it, you see it looks like a invisible something is carving some symbol into the back of your hand made out of silver ink. And it's very painful. But you manage to power through.
I try to rub it out with my thumb.
Okay, it is very resistant to it. And as you mess with it, it continues to carve into your flesh until eventually you have a symbol similar to the ones on the badges owned by your companions carved onto your very flesh on your right hand.
So my soul cursed like the rest of you now? I ask Wrist.
Wrist is
Wrist is
gone.
gone.
Okay, he was still on the board.
You're with first stat. Get your wrist.
I asked for stat instead.
I do believe you're cursed worse than us.
What do you mean?
None of the rest of us were, flayed.
Branded.
Well, can't you get it off?
God, branding is really my business. The unbranding is really a different type of wizard.
I like how he's like, oh, sorry, no, I'm a boom boom wizard.
What is that thing for? What do you
I'm gonna
mean,
go back to the
uncross?
captain.
Okay, cool. So what was it you wanted to do after you left the tower?
I wanted to go see the captain about that badge, because he said he'd have it ready on the morrow.
Okay. So you can go off to find Rolf. Vertstat, what are you going to do?
Cold, you told me to go find Anders, right?
Yes.
That's not like an immediate thing. Or is Anders around? I forget.
He's probably around. You'd have to go to his little... Remember, he has like a camp
Yeah.
outside the camp.
So I will attempt to go to his little camp outside camp.
Okay.
His home away from home.
And Verv, you're going to do research?
Yes.
All right. I think with all of you setting off to do something interesting, that would be a good place to stop for tonight. That way, the next time we pick up, it'll be with all of you on a personal mission. But that's great. Solid session, everybody.
Yeah, solid session, man.
Hopefully you don't have so many Roll20 problems next time.
But
That's super unfortunate. Sorry about that.
it happens. But thankfully it didn't slow us down too much. So thanks for playing. Let's give everybody, let's do 50 experience for today. And yeah, any questions, concerns, thoughts?
Oh, what was the interesting thing you thought I was going to do?
You were going to go turn in the dishes, which might lead to something.
Okay.
Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you next time.